welcome to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at Death in the Clouds, Chapter 7 and 8. So this chapter starts off with the two police officers and Hercule Poirot kind of getting together and planning out who they think is the criminal, what evidence they have, what motives they have, just kind of brainstorming together. So they're just getting to work. They have a list of suspects that they're trying to figure out who is the most likely. And Hercule tells them, man, don't trust any one of these people. Everyone is a suspect. And as they're going through the list, they say, well, Mr. Poirot, you're obviously not a suspect. And he said, hey, I told you, trust no one. I am also a suspect. And he kind of puts himself in the suspect list. And they make a joke about that a time or two in this part. But Poirot kind of sees something here that maybe recognizes someone is lying. Someone isn't telling the truth. And we need to figure out who it is because they're the killer. So they go through the list. They look at Jane. They look at Norman. They look at Daniel. They look at James. I think James is the author and maybe the most suspicious one because he had a blowgun. He knows about poisons, and he's right next to Madame Giselle. And they look at everyone. We do find out that I believe Countess Horbury. This is actually in the next chapter. She does some drugs, and I think Vignetta has something else a little bit suspicious about her. But in this chapter 7, they're kind of eliminating everyone of suspicion, and they don't really find any good person to suspect. And they even look at Hercule's seat, and they realize, or they bring back to memory, that Hercule Poirot was actually in seat 17. And he switched places with Vignetta Kerr. And so I don't know if that's going to be important, but they did switch spots. So maybe there's some clue there. One of the police officers talks about, man, maybe there was some psychological moment, some big shocking thing that attracts everyone's attention. A clap, a house on fire, some signal, and everyone looks, and that is the exact moment you could kill someone. And they're trying to decide, was there some kind of psychological moment where that could have happened on the airplane? They don't know. Hercule was like asleep when he's flying. His stomach hurts, and so he was just kind of trying to focus and be like, oh, I need to go to sleep. So that didn't he wasn't paying attention. So they're going to ask the stewards later. Maybe there's some information there. They talk about the blowpipe, and Hercule is kind of confused about this point. I added it here in our picture because the pipe was behind Hercule Poirot. So it's like in behind his seat. That is interesting. Okay, so if it wasn't to the side, and in the vents, or maybe even in the windows, I'm trying to understand it from this old time period, there appears to be some hole that you can kind of open up, and it's about the size of a blowgun. So the killer could have taken the blowgun and just thrown it out the window instead of trying to hide it in the airplane. So this is something a little bit suspicious, or a question that Hercule can't quite understand. Maybe there's some reason why this blowgun was in the seat, and so he's trying to understand just some different missing pieces. So chapter 8, he looks at a list of all of everything everything Norman has, Dale has, the doctor has, the Dupont father and son. And he's just looking at this whole list. It doesn't look like anything special to me, but my discussion question, which I'm asked later, was there anything special or unique or suspicious to you? But he looks at that list, and he asks, then the other police officers, they ask, well, what is it? Do you see anything suspicious? And Hercule sees the paper and he says, I found the right clue. I was looking for something on the list and I found it. The problem is that this thing is on the wrong person. So there was some innocent person, but they have the clue that makes Hercule maybe think they're guilty or they're involved. So he's a little confused. There's some missing pieces. The officer from Scotland Yard and the French officer trying to, oh, come on, tell us, what is it? And he says, no. You have your idea, and I have my idea, and none of us knows which one is correct. So let's just wait until we get more evidence, and then we'll share. And Hercule decides to go to France with the French officer. And that's how the chapter ends. Some vocabulary. Preliminary means first, starting. Pre is like before, so it's kind of like before you get going, you need to start somewhere. Perverted is twisted or wrong. This murderer is perverted, right? Killing someone is a wrong or a twisted kind of thing. Skeptical, which is like doubtful, like really? Are you sure? Trying to find the problem. Ramifications, I like this one. Ramification means the effect, the consequences. If you, for example, drink a lot of water, the ramifications are your body might feel better, but also you might need to go to the bathroom more, right? These are the consequences, the effects of your actions. Aroused means awakened. So Hercule is like thinking deeply about this stuff, and then he kind of arouses himself. Well, I've got to go, and starts moving. Assentingly is agreeing. Assent, agree, accepting. So one of the officers says something, and Hercule, assentingly, he's shaking his head, agreeingly. That leaves us with our discussion question, which I mentioned already, is, did you find anything suspicious or interesting in the list of items that the passengers had? Hercule did. I missed it. What do you think? Did you find it? And of course, please make your own discussion question. That is all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.